You've been told your entire life that perfectionism is a flaw, a weakness, something that needs to be fixed. But what if I told you that embedded within this trait are 5 cognitive advantages so powerful that most people will spend their entire lives never experiencing them? Stay with me until the end, because by the time we're finished, you'll understand why your brain operates on a different frequency than everyone else's. Picture this scenario. You've just completed a work project, but before sending it off, you review everything one more time. You adjust a comma here, refine a word choice there, restructure a paragraph's format. Your colleagues would have submitted this 2 hours ago. You take an additional 30 minutes, and when you finally hit send, there's no relief, only discomfort. Because deep down, you know something could still be improved. While everyone labels you as too demanding, controlling, anxious, the reality is you've developed capabilities that most people simply don't possess. Let me be direct with you. The world has fed you a narrative that your attention to detail is pathological. They've convinced you that your inability to accept mediocrity is a character defect. But here's what they're not telling you. In a world drowning in superficiality and half-finished work, you've cultivated something rare, a mind that refuses to compromise on quality. That's not a weakness. That's a competitive advantage disguised as a burden. The first cognitive advantage is pattern recognition that borders on precognition. You see errors that everyone else overlooks. You notice details that slip past every other pair of eyes. This isn't exaggeration or self-flattery. While most people process information rapidly and superficially, the perfectionist brain rejects approximation. It scans, compares, detects inconsistencies with surgical precision. Psychology calls this cognitive hypervigilance, and before you dismiss it as disguised anxiety, understand the distinction. Anxiety paralyzes you. This superpower mobilizes you. How many times have you saved a project because you noticed something that would have failed later? How many times have you prevented a problem before it materialized simply because you paid attention where no one else did? The most fascinating part is you don't even claim credit for it, because to you it seems obvious. But it's not obvious. Most people live on autopilot. You live in manual mode, and that places you 3 steps ahead, even when nobody notices. Think about what this means in practical terms. While your colleagues submit work filled with subtle errors, you're catching mistakes that would have cost the company thousands. While others move fast and break things, you're building systems that don't break. The modern workplace celebrates speed over accuracy, but speed without precision is just expensive chaos. You understand this intuitively. They'll learn it eventually. Usually after their shortcuts create disasters you'll be asked to fix. The second cognitive advantage is an internal standard system that operates independently of external validation. You don't need someone to tell you if your work is good. You already know because you have an internal measuring stick that doesn't negotiate. While most people navigate by good enough or no one will notice anyway, you're guided by something different, what you consider acceptable. Your quality compass comes from within, not from likes or compliments. What does this mean in practice? You're not manipulable by others' opinions. You don't yield to pressure just because someone says it's done. You don't deliver something that doesn't represent your best work, even if nobody else cares. And here's the paradox. People assume you're insecure because you review too much, check too much, question too much. But the truth is exactly the opposite. You're so secure in your own standards that you don't need others' approval to validate your work. While some people ask, "Is this good?" every 5 minutes, you simply know. And when you deliver with conviction. This isn't insecurity. This is autonomy. This is cognitive independence. In a world where most people's self-worth is determined by algorithm-driven validation, you've built an internal framework that can't be hacked by external noise. That's not a bug in your programming. That's a feature most people will never install. The third cognitive advantage is the ability to transform frustration into fuel. When something doesn't turn out as it should, most people quit, complain, or accept mediocre results. You don't. You feel that burning sensation in your chest, that discomfort that won't let you rest. And instead of paralyzing you, it propels you. It makes you try again, search for another approach, pursue a solution that doesn't yet exist. In the perfectionist brain, you don't feel relief when you finish something. You feel relief when you fix it, when you finally get it right. This creates something powerful, active resilience. You don't give up easily, not because you're stubborn, but because your brain literally cannot relax while something can be improved. And this makes you unbeatable in situations where everyone else has already thrown in the towel. How many times have you solved a problem everyone else considered impossible? How many times were you the only person willing to redo, restart, rethink? While others say I've tried everything, you say there's still one method I haven't attempted. And you know what else? You don't do this expecting recognition. You do it because you can't not do it. Because the idea of leaving something half-finished, of accepting a bad result, of settling for almost, hurts more than the effort to continue. This isn't obsession. This is refined persistence. This is what separates people who talk about excellence from people who embody it. The world rewards those who finish, but history remembers those who refuse to finish badly. You're in the second category, and that comes with a cost. But it also comes with an edge that compounds over time. The fourth cognitive advantage is the ability to create trust where no one else can. When people work with you, they know one thing with certainty: you won't disappoint. And this creates something rare in today's world: genuine trust. Not the trust of someone who thinks it will work out, but the trust of someone who knows it will work out, because they understand your work standard. Perfectionists are frequently chosen for critical tasks, not because they're the fastest, but because they're the most reliable. Because even under pressure, even with tight deadlines, even when everyone else is relaxing, you maintain the standard. You don't deliver what you manage to do. You deliver what needs to be done. And people sense this. Even if they don't say it, even if they don't praise you, they know they can count on you in a way they can't count on others. You know that important project no one wants to take because it's too much responsibility? It lands on your desk, not by accident, but because there's a collective, almost unconscious perception that you won't drop the ball. And the most curious part is, you probably even complain, "Why always me?" But deep down, you know the answer. Because you're reliable in a way people rarely are. And this can't be taught, can't be copied. While everyone talks about building trust, you simply are trustworthy. That's the difference between intention and embodiment. Most people have good intentions. You have consistent execution. In a world where flakiness is normalized and mediocrity is celebrated, being genuinely dependable is a superpower most people never develop. The fifth cognitive advantage is an absurd capacity to anticipate consequences. While most people live in the immediate present, you live in 3 time frames simultaneously. What's happening now, what can happen later, and what should have happened before. Is this exhausting? Yes, but it's also incredibly powerful, because you don't just do things. You think about the consequences of each detail. You anticipate problems that don't yet exist. You see paths others don't even imagine. Your brain doesn't just process the action, but the entire chain of events that action can generate. That's why you take longer to make decisions. Not because you're indecisive, but because you're mapping scenarios no one else is seeing. And you can't relax and just let things roll, because you know with frightening precision what happens when things roll without control. How many times have you been called an alarmist, and 3 months later exactly what you predicted happened? How many times have you warned about something, been ignored, and later everyone came asking for your help to fix it? You're not pessimistic. You're realistic in advance, and this places you in a unique position. You can prevent disasters before they become disasters. You can correct courses before the path becomes a dead end. You can protect projects, people, ideas, simply because you think ahead. While others act and then deal with consequences, you act already knowing what comes next. This isn't paranoia. This is strategic intelligence. This is what chess players call thinking several moves ahead, except you're doing it in real life, constantly, automatically. Most people learn from mistakes. You learn from mistakes that haven't happened yet. That's not the same game. That's not even the same sport. Now here's what nobody tells you about these 5 cognitive advantages. You've probably been using all of them without even realizing it. While everyone keeps talking about how perfectionism is a problem, the truth is you carry abilities most people will never have. You just function differently. Your operating system runs on different code, and that code is optimized for depth over speed, for precision over approximation, for lasting quality over temporary wins. But there's an important detail here. Perfectionism can be a superpower, but it can also become a prison. If you notice this is blocking you, exhausting you, preventing you from living, it's not weakness to seek help. Talk to a psychologist. They can help you use this to your advantage. But if you recognize these 5 superpowers in yourself and you're managing them well, relax. You don't need to fix anything. The world just needs to stop trying to transform you into everyone else. The uncomfortable truth is this: society needs perfectionists, but it also resents them. It needs your attention to detail when things go wrong, but calls you obsessive when things are running smoothly. It benefits from your high standards while simultaneously pressuring you to lower them. That's not hypocrisy. That's just how systems work. They exploit excellence while promoting mediocrity, because excellence is harder to control. So what do you do with this information? You stop apologizing for who you are. You stop trying to become more relaxed, more easygoing, more like everyone else. You recognize that your mind works differently, not because something is wrong with you, but because you've developed cognitive capabilities most people never will. You leverage your advantages instead of trying to eliminate them. You find environments that reward precision instead of punishing it. You build systems that benefit from your attention to detail instead of fighting against it. The world doesn't need another person who does things halfway. It has plenty of those already. What it needs, whether it admits it or not, is people who refuse to compromise on quality. People who see what others miss. People who build things that last. People who think 3 steps ahead. People like you. Your perfectionism isn't the problem. The problem is a world that's forgotten what excellence looks like and mistakes your refusal to settle for their amnesia. Don't let them convince you otherwise. You're not broken. You're just operating at a frequency most people can't hear. And that's exactly where the advantage lies.